Are you tired of feeling like a fool in some situations? How many times has it happened that you make a decision and it's the best decision that you've ever made? Everything is good. But a similar situation comes in, you make a similar decision, and yet it just does not work out, and you just feel like a fool, like, oh, I was such an idiot to make that decision. That's where the Fool card comes in. So welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Fool card, which looks a little bit like this in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, and how you can interpret whether a decision will be foolish or it's a leap of faith and you're good to go ahead with it. So without much ado, let's get started. So this is what the Fool card looks like in a Rider-Waite deck. As you can see, the card has various images on it, and this is what we interpret when we are reading a card or when we are doing any kind of prediction or when we are trying to, sneak that peek into what's going to happen. So as soon as you look at this card, what did you think it means? If you want, you can pause the video, think it over. If you want, you can write your thoughts down. There are really no right or wrong answers in tarot, and I'll cover what I mean by this later in the video. We'll come back to whatever your interpretations are towards the end, and I do want to hear about what you thought in the comment section below. So do let me know. In general, the Fool card means taking a leap of faith, starting something new, fearless, taking a risk. This card usually means starting something new, starting like a new journey in your life. So as you can see, this guy over here, he's kind of he has all the stuff at the end of his stick, which is like old-fashioned way of carrying your luggage with you, and he's just moving. He's just very happy. He's moving. He has a flower, very nonchalant, and this is where the meaning of starting a new journey comes from. For example, if you have a question related to love and the Fool card comes up, maybe you're going to get into a new relationship, or maybe you're going to get a new viewpoint in your relationship about, certain things which has happened. If the question is about a job, maybe you're going to get a new opportunity coming your way. Maybe it's a new job, a new business, a new opportunity within your existing job. So in general, the Fool card, whenever it comes up, it means taking a leap of faith. But that's not the only thing it means. So remember when I said earlier in the video, where are you being a fool, where you're being foolish by taking this leap of faith, or are you being smart? You're starting something new, and it's a good leap of faith. And that will be defined by the surrounding cards. So I'll get to that in a minute. But for now, let's focus a little bit more on all the other imageries that we see. So, for example, I see a lot of yellow because the entire background is yellow. The sun is out, which is, it's happy. Like, sun is usually seen as a very, very happy moment. Have you ever seen one of those days where the sun doesn't come up, it's very gloomy, how sad you are? So the fact that there's sun, there's yellow, gives me very happy vibes. Then again, this guy also has a companion, which is this little dog, and dogs are known to be loyal to humans. So he definitely has a support with him. We do see him at the edge of the cliff, meaning he's about to, jump, and that's where the leap of faith interpretation comes from. But it could be a leap of faith into something good, or it could be a leap of faith into something bad, and that's the surrounding cards that will determine that. As you can see, I usually interpret this as little moon, so right around the sunrise time when the moon is out and the sun is like just rising, you have that sweet, really pretty, really pretty sky. That's kind of where I usually see this Fool card. So a new beginning, a new dawn sort of thing. This guy also has flower in his hand. When do we usually get flowers? When we are celebrating something, right? Like, or when somebody comes over to your house, they usually bring you flowers, or flowers in general denote happiness. So that's kind of what I see with this as well, that this guy is very happy with taking this leap of faith, or he's very happy going wherever he's going. You do see that this guy also is looking quite high up, and this could usually be referred to as a pompous looking face where he's too proud, but then it's also showing confidence. So again, how you're going to interpret this is really going to depend on the surrounding cards. Another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at these cards is to see where your focus is going. So for example, I'm doing a reading and my focus entirely goes to the sun, and sun in general is a very positive thing, it evokes very positive feelings in human beings. So I would say the answer is leaning more towards a good or positive outcome versus because of the question, my gaze or my attention keeps getting drawn to the cliff edge and the fact that, oh, he's about to fall, oh, he's about to fall, then it's probably leaning more towards the negative outcome. So you again have to be very open to interpretation and not stick to one meaning when you're looking at a card. It's really depending on the question, what you're like you as a reader, and you'll be reading your own cards, so you're your own reader, right? So it really depends on how you're interpreting the cards, where your attention is being drawn to. A lot of tarot reading is about trusting your intuition or trusting your gut. So you really have to start getting comfortable with that little like funny feeling, like, hey, I'm getting a funny feeling about this. So to start getting comfortable with that funny feeling that you get. Um, and if you want to know how to trust your gut, the easiest way is to practice. So every single day, when you wake up in the morning or before you go to sleep, whenever you get a time, right? Just pull one card for yourself. Pull one card, write down what you think that this card means. What are your feelings when you look at that card? At the end of the day, check which imagery resulted in what. This will help you build that confidence to trust your gut when it comes to your card and what your gut is telling you. So now let's look at some of the readings of Fool card, how the reading of Fool card changes when positioned next to others in the deck. For example, if right after the Fool card I get a Three of Swords, which is this one, the card for heartbreak, I can easily say you're a fool to take a leap of faith in this one as it will result in a heartbreak because tarot always tells you a story in terms of its pictorial representation, and you read from left to right. So you're taking a leap of faith, and it's going to result in a heartbreak. So very straightforward, right? If this was changed, if you got something like this, again, you're telling a story from left to right. So you recently had a heartbreak. However, a new beginning is awaiting you. You're going to start something new. So the positioning of the card matters quite a lot. Now, let's say I change this card. I add this. So let's say this is 10 of Cups. We'll cover both of these, Three of Swords and 10 of Cups in the future videos, more detailed meanings of these. But let's say if this card comes up and this is what your reading looks like, and your question is still about your love life, meaning you're already very happy in your relationship and you're going to be starting a new journey. So, for example, if you are in a relationship, I might say that you might get engaged or you might get married. I might pull more cards to get some clarification. Or in any way, it just shows me that, hey, something good is resulting into something better by taking by starting another journey. If this was to be switched, if this is how it was going to be, or if this is how your spread came out to be, that just means that you're taking a leap of faith, which is going to result in a very happy family. So that's kind of how you can tell a story from each of the cards that you pick up. The Fool card, you can usually do a reading with just one card as well, which is just this, but your question has to be really precise. And again, like how many cards you're going to pull really depends on the kind of relationship you form with your cards. Some people also interpret the reverse of these cards. So, for example, we talked about a fool coming up upright. However, what if this card came like this in your reading? How would you interpret this? Personally, I don't like to read reverses. Even if a reverse card comes up, I just straighten it and do the reading. I believe that there are 78 cards in the deck, and if a card with a negative meaning or the reversed meaning was to come up, it would just come up. However, there are no restrictions. Again, if you want to read the reverse, please go for it. You just have to reverse the meanings that we discussed. So, for example, the Fool, it usually talks about taking a leap of faith. It's usually a positive card. However, if a reverse card comes up and you want to read it, you just read it as you're being a fool or you're being overconfident, you're going to fall off the cliff, basically a bad outcome. So, and that's pretty much all it is. Earlier in the video, I asked you to write down your interpretation of the Fool card. Does it match what we talked about? If yes, congratulations, you think like a tarot reader. If no, don't dismiss your interpretation. It is still very important on what you wrote down because based on the surrounding cards, Your tarot cards are telling you a story that makes sense to you. So don't dismiss any interpretations that you have. Just keep practicing, keep making sure that whatever you thought of, how many of it was true, if you're taking into account everything that your intuition is guiding you towards. Tarot reading is a very personal journey, and your cards are going to talk to you in a way that makes sense to you. And with practice, you'll know what it really means. So let me know in the comment section below what interpretations you had, and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button for more videos, and stay tuned for the next one, which is the Magician card. So I'll see you next time. Bye.